Hello everybody, and this time I'm going to go through a little bit of the history about how OverDrive started, where it came from, and a couple of the little hiccups we've had along the way. Not a lot of people know this, but an episode of OverDrive was filmed that nobody has ever seen. Now, there's a reason behind this. I'll sort of explain. It's to do with the beginnings of OverDrive. I'll explain it in a moment, but for now, let's see where it all started. OverDrive's had a bit of an interesting history, and it's been around in one form or another since sort of early 2017, and it started off as an offshoot for a business that myself and another guy were starting up around filming, where we'd go around filming dealerships, and the idea was if we had access to one of the cars, for example, we could do a review around that, and then OverDrive would be an additional bolt-on to the service that they paid for. And it was originally going to be myself and the guy I was going into business with, and yeah, it was originally a simple offshoot. Now, that didn't work out for a number of reasons, but there were quite a few bits filmed. So the fallout from that, I did sort of wonder what I was going to do, and was considering basically selling up all the equipment. I had invested quite a bit. I'd got all the footage as well, and there was an episode, there was an episode filmed, and none of it was to my liking. Somebody else was brought in without my consultation, effectively having my own idea hijacked and stolen by somebody else, which is what actually happened, really. It was a bit of a hard time. And there were two things that happened. The first was I was on a camping trip with family, and something was happening there, and it was just funny. I was funnily enough, with Craig at the time. He was down with us, and it was just the camaraderie and the things that were going on around there, and it was around cars. So that was one thing. And the other was the guy I was going into, was originally going into business with, who this was all supposed to be starting up around, created an email address to access the Google Analytics that I'd all set up and had running in the background, and it was OverDrive UDrive rather than the OverDrive Online, which was originally going to be the name. And that sort of spurred me on a little bit. It's like, right, you've taken one of my ideas anyway, which was the whole going around dealerships and filming them side of things, and you're not getting this one. I set about creating the first episode. I'd got some old footage that we'd filmed from before. We'd filmed the Focus ST video, and it was Martin's Focus ST we actually filmed. And I thought, well, Craig can't do it because he's at work when we'd actually be doing the filming. Most of the other people that I knew wouldn't have been able to do it certainly in the time frames that I could work in. And the only person who was available was Martin. And I thought, well, he's not been in front of a camera before. But he is quite confident. And I thought, well, would you like to try it? So I gave him a call. And originally I was going to reshoot part of the Focus ST video, but in between filming that and me getting in touch, he had got rid of the Focus ST and now had the EcoSport, which kind of works pretty well. So went to NK, who been really good to me when we did the videoing there. Weren't particularly impressed with the guy I was actually going into business with, but we did have a bit of a rapport. And basically went in and said, well, can we do a little bit of filming around what we're going to be doing for this project? And they were great with it. They said, yep, no problem.
Welcome to OverDrive. I'm Malcolm, and here we have...
Hello, Martin. I'm new to the team. I'm well across the world at NK.
Yep, which is on the back road of the road.
And we had free reign with the cars in that showroom at the time. And one of the ones that we'd filmed bits for but wasn't quite suitable was for a Nismo. But that had been sold, but had been replaced by a Nissan GTR, which turned out to be Martin's kind of car crush, if you like. And that was it. That was, from that point, that's where OverDrive started to kick into gear. We got episode 1 done, and I sort of thought, well, we'll see if we can get 5 or 6 episodes done, see how it goes from there. And it just built up and built up and built up from there. I got a few bits that I'd filmed from previous sections, previous segments, used them to sort of fill in where we were running short of ideas at the time or running short of stuff to film. And it sort of built up and built up and built up. It was going really, really well. And it was 2018. It was April 2018 when basically OverDrive's first disaster struck, when Martin's dad died. And it was quite awkward because I'd arranged, again, at NK, we were going to do a BMW special, so they'd got a couple of BMWs, we've got quite a few BMWs in at the time, and the idea was we'd do everything in a couple of days, we'd get it filmed alongside episode 7, so everything would be filmed, episode 7 would go out, the editing would be done, and we'd have anything up to 6 weeks where we didn't have a need to film or be flat out, which is what we had up to that point. And it kind of worked. It would and should have worked, but unfortunately Martin's dad passed away. We wrapped up, we'd filmed the links, we'd done everything in 2 days at the beginning of April, and we went in on Wednesday, April the 11th, to do the links and finish off. And Martin's dad had actually been and watched us film the week before when we were doing some of the cars. And the guys at NK treated him really well. Kept him entertained when we weren't there. Hats off to them for that. Really good guys there. And Wednesday, April the 11th, we went in, filmed the links, finished off all the filming, and that should have been a wrap. Then on the Thursday, the 12th of April, Martin was doing the usual things that he did with his dad on that particular time. They'd gone out to get the stuff sorted out in Brighouse and nearby areas. Unfortunately, his dad collapsed. So he was taken into hospital and things didn't quite get... they weren't improving. And unfortunately, in the early hours of Friday, the 13th of April, he passed away. So, basically, from my side, it didn't affect me too much, but it obviously did affect Martin. And it was going to have other effects further down the line as well. So I went in on Sunday the 15th and filmed a short segment for the beginning of the programme, dedicated the whole of episode 8 to Martin's dad, and got that put together and it went out. On Wednesday the 11th of April, we finished filming for this episode of OverDrive. Unfortunately, the next day, Martin's father was taken ill and sadly died on the Friday. He was looking forward to this particular episode, with it being the BMW special. He was at least here on the Friday before to see us filming cut shots for the BMW convertible. It's a bit strange because it is almost like losing a member of the team. He is going to be missed. The problem we had was Martin now was no longer his dad's primary carer, so needed to find a job, which then meant filming in the week was going to be impossible. So we were limited to weekends. My situation financially was deteriorating anyway. At the time, I was teaching children English Chinese children English over the internet, and it wasn't bringing in enough to cover the bills. So I was having to find another job. And episode 9 we managed to get done reasonably quickly. During the filming of episode 9 with the Rover 25, I broached the idea with Martin about asking Craig to join us. Now, Martin and Craig were getting on fine. I get along fine with Craig as well. And it seemed a fairly good idea. We were going to need extra help anyway, because we were going to be limited to one day a week where we could film now, and it was going to be a bit awkward. So we went through the idea. I asked Craig to join us, but Craig had, as well, a couple of things that actually happened on that day when we filmed the 25. And it really did feel like OverDrive was becoming cursed. But episode 10 came around, and Craig's been with us ever since. OverDrive episode 10.
Episode 10, we've done it.
Double figures and a few changes. So we have new presenter, Craig Woodhouse.
Hello.
Now, Craig's not really such a stranger to OverDrive, are you?
Not quite, no.
Craig did actually supply us with the Rover 25 and was also helping out quite a lot behind the scenes with the Portugal video. I have mentioned as well earlier that Craig sort of was there when he's there with one of the events that sort of spurred me to actually bring OverDrive Online and do it properly. But he was also there when we filmed episode 3 in Portugal. So he was driving the Peugeot 308. He had the camera mounted on the car when the car I had, which was the Tipo, was being driven, and did quite a few of the passing shots with cameras as well. So he'd got a little bit of a taste of it and was quite happy to join us. Now, obviously, as I mentioned, things going on in the background, I'm not going to go into those for that particular time. But it was quite a stressful time for him. So in a way, when he came on board for filming from episode 10 onwards, it was quite a good distraction for him. And from that point, OverDrive's basically carried on building. To Martin's credit as well, he's done he's done his own car history video, and apart from me bringing the volume levels up and adding the introduction so it all kind of fell into place nicely and had a bit of continuity to it, the rest of it was all his own work. So he's come a long way with that. Though both Martin and Craig have discovered the problems with low capacity phones and filming. So, there's been a few issues around there, but we've worked around them. To be fair to the guys, they've done a really good job. We do have other people as well who help out in the background with things, have sourced us cars in the past, and done filming for us as well. So we've got a kind of a nice little team that's building up, that's not just the core 3 anymore, or core 2 as it was originally. So there's generally 4 of us in our internal group chat that we've got. I do have a couple of people who I can call on if need be for vehicle access and filming as well, filming help. And since we now film on Sundays, most people, not all, but most people are generally free around Sundays as well. So it makes things a lot easier. Now we can arrange to film other times, and sometimes we do film on Saturdays, sometimes we'll do week evenings as well, depending on the weather. But yeah, it's come a long way. We've got more facilities now. We've got the Twitter feed, we've got the Facebook page, we've got the main website, we've got the Instagram page, and we're now back on Patreon as well after a failed try before. As this will probably be out on Patreon first. So it's been interesting. It's been a fantastic development. And the one thing I would say is, please do subscribe. There's a lot of people who watch us and don't subscribe. And subscriptions help the channel. Views help the channel, but subscriptions also help. So please subscribe. Have a look at the website. Visit us on Patreon if you want to support us, because the more support we get, the more we can do, the more entertaining we can make it for you. I mean, I've got plenty of ideas for things, but we need the support. Feel free to comment. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, you know what to do. And yeah, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. And hopefully, we'll see you next time. Stay safe. Bye for now.